Hey everybody, my name is Lee Bishop. Welcome to my series Ghost Hunting 101. Brief introduction about what this series is going to be before we get started. I'm going to be imparting to you the things that I picked up in the 5 years that I've been performing paranormal investigations that are going to help you when you get started in this field. There's a lot of things that I wish I had known more about when I started and I had to learn the hard way. So what I'm going to try to do is give you the benefit of my experience so that you don't have to make some of the same mistakes I did. So that being said, we're going to jump right in. Now there are many things we could go over first, but I'm going to cover the basic 3 types of paranormal activity that you may encounter when you're in the field. Now, those are residual, intelligent, and inhuman hauntings. I'm going to go into detail about each one and explain to you the differences and what they are. First up, and the most common type you're going to encounter are residual hauntings. Now, these are not what you would technically think of as a ghost, although they may appear to be. But these are merely psychic impressions, or almost like a psychic recording of an event that will play itself back when the conditions are right. It could be the same night of the year that a murder occurred. You may hear the screams. It could be someone traveled down a walkway in a building they worked in before they died so often that that routine was left imprinted on the building itself. Now, these are the most common types because they don't really require much more than an event to transpire or repetition of a certain activity. And these things are not cognizant of themselves or their surroundings. They don't know you're there. They don't know they're there. In fact, they're not really even a spectral agent so much as it is just a phenomenon that occurs whenever, like I said, something leaves such a strong psychic imprint on the location. Now these things, they are interesting to see, and they can definitely be unsettling if you never encountered them before, but they're not dangerous because, like I said, they don't interact or anything like that. So you're going to encounter this most often when you're doing attempting EVP recordings. These are the ones that you're going to notice when you may pick up a voice whenever you're just talking with your team, or walking around between rooms in a location. These are the kind of things that will just seem random. They won't respond to they won't be answering questions. They'll just be there. You may even get a snapshot when you're doing your digital still photography. You could even get something on video, but like I said, there's not going to respond to you. That will be your first clue you're dealing with a residual type activity. Most of the times you can tell when people are experiencing residual activity because they'll describe the same phenomenon happening over and over and over again without any kind of deviation or real interaction with the people that are around it. Now, on to more interesting stuff, intelligent hauntings. These are the second most common type of activity you're going to encounter, and they're also one of the most interesting because these are the human spirits that know what they are. Even if they don't know they're dead, they are aware of themselves, and they can be aware of their surroundings and even living people in their cell. So you have to those are the kind that you're going to have the most common types. Objects being moved, disembodied voices that are calling people by name, that are generally interacting with the living residents or workers of a location. Now these are the ones that you're going to be able to actually communicate with. They will respond to trigger objects sometimes. They will definitely sometimes respond to provocation, which you will find out as you learn more about the field, is a point of controversy between some investigators and teams. Some teams advocate provocation, and some teams don't. There are inherent dangers, but it can sometimes goad a spirit into manifesting itself or doing something. So I'm not gonna, I'm not one to say to discount it entirely or to embrace it wholeheartedly. That's really up to you. You have to develop your own methods. But your first clue to an intelligent haunting is going to be, like I said, interaction, and it will be your classic type of ghost story stuff where you're going to have, like I said, maybe objects being moved in the house, things disappearing and reappearing later, like disembodied voices, even full body apparitions manifesting themselves. And these are, like I said, the spirits of dead human beings that are trapped, in a location. And no one knows why that happens any more than we know why residual activity happens. I mean, that's what we're all in this field to find out. So when you encounter an intelligent haunting, that's going to be the one you're going to have the most interesting time investigating or have the most fun with. But like I said, just a small word of caution about dealing with intelligent hauntings. Like I said, they are cognizant of their surroundings, and if a ghost can pick up a baseball, it can throw it at you. Is all I'm getting at. The same thing with any other type of object. Now, the third one, and the one that I'm really going to spend the most time talking about, is the inhuman hauntings. Now, these are very, very rare, thankfully. You're not going to encounter inhumans or demons, for lack of a better term, as often as you will residual or intelligent human activity that you're going to, human spirit activity you're going to have. Now, these things, I'm going to be quite honest with you, are dangerous. Okay, these things are not your typical ghost. These things are generally, it's a giveaway when you hear a client telling you what's been going on when there's been threats, biting, scratching, deep demonic voices taunting them, and they don't seem to want anything, or they want a person. They'll focus on a specific person and try to tear them down as much as they can, because they feed off of the fear that these people put off. It's like they're putting off energy. Now, these things are, like I said, very, very dangerous. They're not confined to a cell, which is what we call an area of activity. Like a structure that contains activity is a cell. Like Eastern State Penitentiary is one big cell with several smaller cells in it. Where might be some spirits that will manifest all over the prison. There are some that only manifest in certain cells or cell blocks or areas. Now, that those are smaller cells within a bigger one. And one of my theories I'm going to go into later is the possibility of cells that are in nearby proximity to each other reinforcing them and making them stronger. But that's a whole different topic I'll get into in a later video. Not part of this particular series that I'm starting. So, but yeah, like I said, demons are dangerous. Okay, these things are not confined to any kind of cell. They do whatever they want. They go wherever they want, and most of the time, there's not much of you can do to stop them. I recommend, if you encounter a case where you are convinced there is inhuman activity, that you seek a demonologist. That would be a professional that specializes in dealing with just demons, not ghosts. This can be anything from a priest, a rabbi, even some psychics specialize in demonology, and some people that aren't any of those specialize in demonology. Finding a demonologist can be difficult. I recommend contacting, especially being a beginner, if you run across one of these things, I recommend contacting a more experienced team in your area who may have a demonologist on staff or may know where to get a hold of one. A last-ditch effort, you can always go to your local Catholic church. In the last 10 years, they have placed an exorcist who is trained in demonology in every diocese in the United States. So if you're in the U.S. Or any other first world country where the Catholic Church has a presence, there will be an exorcist in your area or in your region within call. They may or may not contact them for you, but if you can tell them exactly what's going on and there are people in danger, they may be more than willing to help you. But of course, I can't speak for them. I'm not a Catholic. So, that's my best recommendation I can give you in dealing with inhuman entities, especially being a beginner, is to go seek help from a more experienced person, because these things are not to be trifled with. From personal experience, I can tell you that they just delight in causing fear and injury and pain, and they will just torment people for long periods of time. Could be months, could be years, could be their entire life, follow them from place to place to place, continually plaguing them with this kind of activity, and until these people eventually will either give in and kill themselves or they get possessed, which is a very inherent danger in dealing with inhuman entities. You don't want that to happen. Trust me, that's not something you want to have to see anyone or yourself go through. But like I said, that covers the 3 basic types of activity that you can encounter in the field. And who knows, one day we may uncover more types. As we all investigate, we gather more evidence, it becomes part of the community at large, we may be able to come to some more definitive conclusions. It's only really through science that we come to understand the world around us. And that can include everything from the normal to the paranormal. So, well, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it's taught you one thing or two. And I'll be back with another video in a week or 2 weeks. I'll be updating this as we go along, and please hit the subscribe button, subscribe to my channel, like and favorite the videos. It helps out. helps me maybe get this off the ground a little more, and to the end game of having more trained and knowledgeable investigators in the field to help people. That's what this is really all about, answering questions we have about, life after death and helping people who are having problems. So like I said, I encourage you, get out there, be safe about it, but get out there and, start investigating. I mean, call places, see if they'll let you in, go out there and really just start, beating the bushes and pounding the pavement and doing the legwork. I mean, that's, what it all boils down to, really, and just try to do good work. Thanks.